The kaishiwaza's accuracy does not improve if you just wait until the opponent's attack. The more you lure the opponent to attack you, the more your kaishiwaza will be effective. There are two ways to lure the opponent into attacking your men. The first is called gedan hazushi. Breathing out, lower your sword tip from a slight toma and go forward half a step. The other is called the hiraki hazushi. From a slight toma, loosen your sword tip to the southeast direction, then step half a step. For both hazushi moves, it is important to loosen your temper from a highly tensed stance. Lure the opponent to hit the man, and just before your opponent tries to attack you, go to attack beforehand. This is called sen ni noru. Go forward as though stepping on the opponent's right foot, but the attack should be direct towards the vertical line. The first display is luring with the gedan hazushi. The second is the hiraki hazushi. Lure the opponent to hit the man and hit the opponent before the opponent raises his hands. Work with the inside of your hands with conscious movements, as your men may be attacked if you swing the shinai too much. Keep in mind not to retreat as you attack, but hit, then retreat. Lure the opponent, and if you suspect the opponent is going for the men attack, go towards the northeast direction and attack the do. Control the sword tip and take a hold of the opponent's right do in front of you. For the left sabaki, pull back toward your southwest direction and hit. It is not used much nowadays, but it is difficult to hit accurately. Oji gaeshi should be done at the front as possible. This will be effective if you think of it as pushing up your opponent's shinai. When luring into the gedan, the suriage-men at the ura is easy to hit. If you lured with open stance, the suriage-men at the omote is easier. When your height is higher than the opponent, hit the suriage-men at the ura at the front. But in most cases, the hit at the left or the hit by retreating to the southwest direction is used. The suriage-men is hit at the northeast front direction. Either way, it is important to think of it as going to meet the men. The ojigaeshi-men can be done by going forward if you are taller than an opponent, but many people would have to do the sabaki toward the left or the southwest directions. The harimen is a movement that slaps the opponent's men attack, thereby diverting the course of the opponent's attack. This is suitable for contestants with physical strength and speed. For both movements, lure your opponent with the omote hazushi, then hit. This is a movement in which you avoid the opponent's men attack by retreating as you hold back and then attack. If the opponent lowers his hands after missing the men, attack the men. If his hands raise, attack the kote. Make the opponent believe that you are attacking forward, then move on to these movements. These combinations are effective. These movements are useful for the opponents who tend to dodge with the omoteyoke against the men's suriage or the kaeshi. But remember, these require the accurate shinai control and the sharpness of the sense of the palms, as the moves are fast and the attacking areas are small. These moves were frequently used in the Tai Jodan at first. Contestants with recent left side when performing the Mitokoro-yoke has been increasing these years, so these moves happen to be effective also in the Tai Chudan. Remember not to make them the hirauchi, which uses the side of the shinai or a slanting hit. There are two ways to lure the opponent into attacking the kote. The first is to extend your hand a little forward and pressure the opponent's shinai from the top. The other one is to step in half a step forward with your hand raising a little bit. In both cases, it is important to shorten the distance from the toma, breathing lightly and nonchalantly. Defend by doing the nukiage to the opponent's kote by raising his kote high above. Then attack the men. If you try to do the nuki only with your fingers, it will not be successful. Think of this movement as piercing the ceiling with your sword tip. If the opponent moves too fast towards you, pull back and attack. The first displays the kata that pulls back from the omotezasoi. The second lures by raising the hands, then retreat as he strikes the right hanmen. Although the urashinogi at the kote suriage men is popular, it requires a lot of practice in order to master it correctly. The suriage is done as though the sword draws an arc. Practice well so that the arc can be turned into attack with a smooth transition. Kote suriage men at the omote shinogi is hit as you dodge by moving toward the northeast direction. The omote osai is the only movement to lure in this process. Invite the opponent's kote and do the suriage at the front as though you are going to receive the kote. One has to be very skilled in order to do this delicate movement well. The suriage can be hit with the left sabaki, but it would be easier to do this toward the back of your left side. The firm tenouchi, the grip, is required not to lose against the opponent's force. This movement twists the wrist after doing the omote shinogi to the opponent's kote. You will not be able to do the kaeshi if you pull your hands towards you, but make sure you hit at the front. The display shows two ways, the hit at the front and the hit after doing the sabaki at the southwest direction towards the back. This is also called the kote-uchi otoshimen because it attacks the men as though striking down the opponent's kote-uchi from the top. The point here is not to swing the shinai too much at the aikote. The hit will wind up too loose if your right knee is raised too high. Be careful. This is an essential move for high school and university students. Practice so that you can hit at the front as much as possible. When the opponent does the tobikomi-do, twist your wrist, then do the uchiotoshi. Attack the men without a moment of delay as you retreat back towards the southwest direction. Actually, it's rare for your opponent to attack the gyakudo, but you should practice them both so that you can strike down whichever do that is under attack. The display shows the situation in which a fierce battle lead one of the contestants to unconsciously attack the gyakudo. This is the same as the arc drawn when swinging the shitachi of the Nihon Kendo Gata number 4th. Because the distance becomes too close after the makikaeshi, hit the men as you retreat. Lure the tsuki of the opponent with the hiraki hazushi and immediately put some pressure from the omote or divert the course of the tsuki by slapping the shinai, then attack the men. This is a daring movement when the opponent's tsuki is completely in the yomisuji. Stop the opponent's tsuki by retreating half a step and doing the makiosai, and attack the men at the moment when the opponent's body stops. This seems difficult, but it is an effective move against the tsuki. If you do the makiosai at the ura, lure with a gedan hazushi. At the omote, lure with a hiraki hazushi. Dodge the opponent's tsuki with the amashi and by retreating, and when the opponent's body is loose, attack the men. Practice well because you may have to hit the hanmen depending on the opponent's way of dodging. In the case of the tsubazeriai, there are times when asked how to act. There are 3 basic ways. The first is for you to break the tsubazeriai and retreat and attack. The second is to retreat with the opponent and attack. The third is to dodge the opponent's attack as he retreats and then attack. It is good for you to decide which type to attack before so you won't have to think at the match. Here, the second and the third are explained well. Instead of the issoku itto, it is easier to sense the changing of the opponent's moves and breath. It is an effective tactics to attack in this condition. Practice well. Sense the opponent's moves and take a hold of the hikibana of the opponent after he tries to hit the hikimen and attack. Practice so that you can hit forcefully even with small strokes. For both of these moves, your men will be hit if you stay in front of the opponent. The point here is to move back towards the southwest direction at the moment the opponent tries to put an attack move, so that you are in the blind spot of the men. This is very difficult but also a highly effective move. You should practice over and over again so you can get the hang of it. The do is a move with large actions. Attack the unguarded areas of the opponent at the brief moment in which the shinais move from the omote kosa to the ura. This can be said for all the hikibana moves, but if you hit after the opponent's action, it is already too late. Do not forget to hit with sensing the opponent's moves. When the opponent retreats and hit the men, pull up his shinai using the omote shinogi and attack forward. It is important to hit without a moment of delay because if you hesitate, you will hit the opponent's arm which is pulled up. Attack the men after striking down the do just before the opponent recovers his stance. It is important to strike down at the front rather than pulling your hands towards your body. The same thing can be said for the kote. Strike at the front. The basics of dodging is the footwork. There's a danger of being attacked if you stay at one spot, so it would be best to move towards the right and do the omote osae, and do the ura osae when moving to the left. Other popular ones are the omote yoke and the ura yoke. These days among the junior high school students, we see the increasing popularity of performing the mitokoro yoke, which one raises his left fist high above one's head, and the banzai yoke, which one raises both hands above the top of one's head. Even if one could dodge the attack, It will awfully break your stance and unable you to make the next move, so they are not recommended. As shown, the omoteyoke and the urayoke can be more effective with both feet and can be smoothly turned into attacking stances. Practice so that you can dodge with minimum movements. For the opponent who avoids your main attack with the omoteyoke, feint in order to lure the yoke, then attack the unguarded right side. Especially, the men feint kote can be used by all, from young beginners to advanced contestants. The basics for this move is not to try hitting from the side, but to hit straight. For the opponent who raises his hands when you pretend to attack the men, do the tobikomi-do by feinting. It is effective to do the morotetsuki against the opponent who is defending. The urayoke has fewer unguarded areas compared to the omoteyoke. The good spot to attack are the left hanmen, tobikomi-do, morotetsuki. You can expect to do a bold tobikomi-do, especially when the opponent's hands are raised high for the urayoke. For the mitokoroyoke, which we nowadays see frequently, you can attack the tsuki and the agegote in addition to the gyakudo. Do not extend your right arm for the agegote like the men. Be concise and sharp by pulling your arm towards you after the hit. On the display, the contestant is going forward to the right, but you may attack by staying close to the opponent by being irimi. This is the feint move for the opponent who dodges with the mitokoroyoke. Attack the men when the opponent loosens the mitokoroyoke by protecting himself against the tsuki. As for the kote feint kote, lure the opponent's mitokoroyoke with the first kote. Do a feint move towards the gyakudo, which is called the aori movement, and then attack the kote. This is a double feinting move. This is used frequently in an advanced match. A lot of practice is needed as the shinai control is difficult for this movement. Doing the tobikomi-do by using your body in a straight line is effective for the opponent whose hands raises high trying to do the nukimen against your attack. If the opponent is over high school, doing the tsuki or the men after feinting the tsuki is effective. This movement should be aimed at a large kyonosuki, the unguarded areas, at a surprise attack. Moving away after the omoteoke, the first displays the hit on the hikimen, the second shows the hikido. Though you cannot hit the kaeshi quickly, you should move away and attack rather than simply dodging. The third one is the attack on the hikigote after moving away from the urayoke. This is the oyuchi after dodging and moving away. There is a chance to attack at the moment just when the opponent turns around, which is called the furimukizama. It is difficult to catch the opponent moving accurately, so practice is required. This is the oiuchi from the tsubazeriai. Follow the opponent as you dodge the hikimen and attack before the opponent's hands return to the chudan stance. The kote should be placed just as the kote at the jodan stance, orderly and expressing the sharpness. Attack the tsuki at the moment when the opponent's body stops. Keep in mind that if you are out of balance, you will not be able to hit successfully. Do the kote men and the men feint kote at the moment when the opponent's body stops. These moves will not succeed if the timing is incorrect. You should neither be too fast nor too slow. Practice to master the correct timing of breathing and attacking just when your opponent prepares his stance. At the tsubazeriai, you may hit and retreat, which may cause the opponent to do another tsubazeriai. This happens quite often, but the norikaeshi is very useful to end a situation like this. The norikaeshi is basically done in 2 steps. Hit and take 2 steps back, then hit forward. 1, 2, then men. A more advanced form of this move involves keeping the position of the left foot which you first used to retreat, then attacking from there. Practice the footwork first so that you can do a smooth transition for both styles. For both styles, 2 steps and 1 step style, it is important to attack with your raised arm after the hikimen rather than returning them to the chudan stance. If your upper body leans back when holding the stance, you will fail to attack forward, so be careful. After you extend your body upward with the hikimen, attack with your body folded. This attack should also be done by not returning your hands to the chudan stance. This is a useful kata in a match. Master it well. The norikaeshimen from the hikido can be done brilliantly if you extend your body upward from the lower stance used in conjunction with the do. From the successful do, do not go back to the chudan stance but attack the men. The opponent may follow you with a oiuchi after you temporarily retreat. It happens often. Here your knowledge of the norikaeshi can become a saving grace. The opponent has the advantage in this kata because you are being followed. You must have the precision, sharpness, and clarity when you are against the opponent. The norikaeshi from the hikido is technically high advanced. After hitting the hikido, you have no choice but to retreat with your body unguarded. In this case, the opponent will probably follow you with the oiuchi. If you can score some points here, it would give you more emotional advantages to proceed with the match. It is highly recommended that you